It's time. 6:30. All right. Coffee and tablet. Moving things that'll fall. Getting this ready. And here we go in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Wednesday, September 18th, 2019. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. That's good. That's good. Good. Well, I hope you had a great Tuesday. My Tuesday was pretty good. Had some stuff get rearranged, but it worked out in the end. Yeah. Good morning, Frank. Let's see what happened yesterday. Had an issue pop up with one of the factories. Looks like I got scammed. Good morning, Casper. We're still working out the details, but looks like I'm out a chunk of money. I'm really unhappy about that. So I don't think there's anything I can do, and it would have been really hard to have something in place to prevent this. So we're still putting the pieces together, but yeah. Oh well, sometimes crummy things happen, right? And you just have to figure out how to move on. You got to adapt. You gotta put the past behind you. That's where we're at. What's going on today? Not a lot. Not a lot. No meetings. Coaching CrossFit this evening, so it's just getting stuff done this morning. Let's just kind of hammer through. Got a bunch of little stuff. Probably do some things around here and then take off for the co-working space. Had a meeting there last night with a new consulting client. And yeah, we're in the midst of, well, no, that's not something I can talk about. What can I talk about? There's not a lot going on that I can talk about. Oh, I recorded 2 podcast episodes yesterday. Those both went really, really well. One was exceptionally well. The other was really good. I guess that averages out to really well, doesn't it? Oh, I feel off. I feel really off today. Yeah. It's okay. It's gonna be all right. So let's hit these questions. Let's do this. If you want to ask me a question, drop it below, and I will answer it tomorrow. I'm yawning. Okay, what we got? It has been said, if a man dwells on the past, then he robs the present. But if a man ignores the past, he may rob the future. The seeds of our destiny are nurtured by the roots of our past. Do I agree or disagree? I agree. Absolutely. It's a fine line between acknowledging and understanding what's happened in the past and, as the quote says, dwelling there, living there, keeping your attention there. Because you can't change the past. Now, that's not to say that it's not impactful. It's not to say that the things that you've done in the past can't be stressful and frustrating. I mean, I opened the show by talking about one of them. I screwed up in the past. I mean, I've screwed up a bunch in the past, but in getting scammed, I screwed up in the past. And for the last 24 hours, once we discovered this, my attention on this event was around how do we recover from it? What do I have to do? What can I do? Or what will I do? Now, I could spend a lot of time frustrated and dwelling. I mean, really just casting my attention back there. But that doesn't help anyone. And it deprives me of the time and the attention for anything else. So my efforts are just to get better. And that's what I think we all try to do, though with mixed results, with anything that we do. Learn from your mistakes. Yeah. Thanks, Frank. Frank says, what a proactive response. It has been said, most people would like to be delivered from temptation, but they would like to keep it in touch, like it to keep in touch just in case. What do you think? I have not heard this one. Let me read that again. It's one I haven't heard before. I like that one. So when we talk about temptation, we're talking about external forces. At least that's how we're viewing it, right? The temptation of a big chocolate cake. The idea that if it's sitting here and I eat too much of it, that it's not my fault because I was tempted. Well, the cake's not making me eat it. I'm attempting to externalize that responsibility. And I think in this quote, it's saying that even if you don't want to be tempted, you still want the option of being able to be tempted. Because that way, I can still have the cake and not take responsibility for it. And I think a lot of people live this way. A lot of people defer responsibility on a lot of things. I hear people talk this way. You know, this thing is not their fault, or they didn't know, or whatever. And to me, that's just a strange way to go through life. Because whether it's your fault or not, it's usually your responsibility. There are a lot of things that happen in my life, in my business, that are not my fault, but they're still my responsibility. I still have to recover from them. I still have to deal with them. And that's everyone's lives. We're all impacted by a tremendous number of outside forces, but it's still your life. You still have responsibility over living it and dealing with what comes up. Here's another example. Oh, I talked about my phone yesterday, I think. So here's a short version. Had a broken cell phone, replaced it under warranty, sent it back. They lost it. Frank says, exactly. Responsibility means response-ability. Yeah, your ability to respond. Totally. I have not heard that. I like that one. So I send my phone back. They lose it. And they charge me. Not my fault. But now it's become my responsibility if I want my money back. And I did. They dealt with that finally yesterday and refunded my money. But it stinks. Because now I'm out time. You know, I probably burned 2 hours on this. not 2 hours I wanted to spend for what really resulted in nothing. But it happened. It was part of my choice of having a cell phone. I don't have to have a cell phone. There are lots of things I don't have to have or do, and there are consequences. And sometimes those consequences are weird and something like that. You don't get a pet with the desire to deal with vet bills and sickness and cleaning up after it, but it's part of it. And sometimes weird things happen. Animals get really sick. It costs a tremendous amount of money. Or, years ago, my rabbit had a couple strokes. Over the last month of his life, it completely changed what I had to do day to day. We don't plan on these things, but we have to be able to respond. And you can draw correlations there to self-defense and to martial arts overall. Martial arts is about growing. And part of growing is being able to handle what's put in front of you. It's part of being an adult, is being able to take responsibility for what comes up in front of you and just handle it. There are a lot of people today who are legal adults but don't handle things. They ignore their problems. They don't face things. Whether they're medicating or passing the buck off to somebody else, it's irresponsible. And it doesn't make their lives better or the lives of anyone around them better. Casper, tell me what you mean. Casper's writing something in. Shout out to Casper, who is listening from the Netherlands. I could probably go on a rant at this point about people not handling their own problems, but I'm not going to. So instead, I'll go to question 3. It says, you make it a dragon if you don't respond to a problem. Yeah, most of the time, ignoring something doesn't make it go away. Given that most martial arts classes are in the evening, do you find that you need to wind down at home after class before you can fall asleep? Yes. And depending on the type of class and how it goes, affects how much winding down and in what way I need. So, the classes that I typically attend that end the latest are my Taekwondo classes. Those classes get over about 8. I usually hang out and chat with the instructor and other people for between 15 and 20 minutes. And then it takes me another 30 minutes to get home. So I'm usually home from Taekwondo at 9 p.m. No worry on your spelling, my friend. You speak, your English is far better than my Dutch. I don't get home until 9 o'clock. To just take a shower and jump into bed, I'm not going to fall asleep. And I'll toss and I'll turn. And I've learned that I need that wind down time. By the same token, I've learned that I also need personal time. Otherwise, I get fidgety, but that's a whole other story. So I'll generally take an hour, maybe have a beer, watch TV. If I'm going to go right to bed, after 30, 60 minutes of TV, I'll, especially that late, I'll put on some blue blocker glasses. Yes, those work. They do work. Turn off the overhead lights as much as I can. But then there are also times that I can just feel it, that I'm really tired, and it's okay. And I'll attempt to wind down on the drive home. I've got 30 minutes in the car. I'll put on some not really low key music because otherwise I might fall asleep, but something a little less aggressive, a little quieter, and just kind of enjoy that time, that quiet time, and then get home. Usually feed the cat because she's usually complaining about eating, and then I'll go to bed. So, good question. I wonder what everybody else does about that. How everybody else handles getting home late from class and then going to bed. So, good questions today. Thank you. All right. So, what's your homework going to be? Homework is going to be, I would like you to consider the things that you do before and after your training. Do you have a routine? You should. I've got a routine beforehand around my flexibility, my mobility. There's some things that I do to warm up. And honestly, it's the same routine, whether it's martial arts or it's going to the gym or it's going out for a hike. All of these things, there are certain ways that I warm up, move around, and make sure my body's ready. For martial arts, I try to take a few seconds when I go and I change, whether bathroom, changing room, whatever. I'll spend about 30 seconds meditating. Just close my eyes and just try to let everything go and focus on what I'm about to do, and just try to be as present as I can while I train. And that's been really helpful. So if you don't have a routine before and after, I don't have much of one for after, to be honest. Come up with one. Think about it. What do you want and need that's going to help you get the most out of your training? Maybe it's around flexibility. Maybe it's around getting your mind right. Maybe you need to drink more water after your training. I don't know, lots of things. So consider that, put it into place. Okay. Don't forget, we do the show every weekday morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. But you can catch it later at firstcupwithjeremy.com or in your podcast app. I am not always diligent about getting the audio episode up right away. And I apologize. I think I missed yesterday. I'll do both today. So I hope you have a good day. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care. Peace.